Tonight we're seeing Nick Reiner on camera for the first time since he was charged with the murders of his parents, iconic director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle. Nick Reiner today appearing in a Los Angeles courtroom pleading not guilty.
A plea of not guilty is entered on behalf of Mr. Reiner.
With his recently appointed public defender, Reiner sat calmly behind a glass partition. Reiner has a well-known history of mental health and substance abuse problems. The night before his parents were found stabbed to death in their LA home.
In Los Angeles tonight, Nick Reiner appeared in court for the first time since being charged with the murders of his parents, entering a plea of not guilty. The case has drawn national attention given the prominence of the family and the disturbing nature of the allegations. Reiner stood calmly behind a courtroom partition as his public defender formally entered the plea. Prosecutors allege his parents were fatally stabbed inside their home, and investigators continue to examine events leading up to the killings. The case now moves into a pre-trial phase, where legal strategy and potential mental health evaluations could shape its trajectory.
Sources say Nick and his father got into an argument at Conan O'Brien's holiday party. Nick was described as acting strangely. O'Brien is now breaking his silence in an interview with The New Yorker.
To have that experience of saying goodnight to somebody and having them leave and then find out the next day that they're gone, I think I was in shock for quite a while afterwards.
David, Nick Reiner could still change his plea to not guilty by reason of insanity. He's due back in court in April. David, all right.
Sources indicate that in the days before the deaths, there were signs of escalating tension. Reports describe unusual behavior and a dispute the night before the victims were discovered. Defense attorneys may explore mental health considerations as the case proceeds, including the possibility of alternative pleas. Legal analysts say the proceedings could become complex, involving forensic evidence, digital records, and testimony from individuals who interacted with the family shortly before the incident. For now, the court has scheduled the next appearance in April, and the defendant remains in custody. The case continues to unfold under intense public scrutiny, with investigators working to establish motive and timeline. As that legal battle begins to take shape, financial markets are reacting sharply to uncertainty surrounding national economic policy.
Economy here and the stock market tumbling to start the week. The Dow losing 821 points, closing at 48,804. Tonight, economists say the drop in part driven by President Trump's decision to raise global tariffs after the Supreme Court struck down much of his tariff policy, and growing fears about AI's impact on multiple industries in this country. We should mention the president will no doubt address his tariff policy, the economy, immigration, ICE, foreign policy in his State of the Union address tomorrow night.
The stock market opened the week with significant losses, as the Dow fell more than 800 points amid growing concerns over tariff policy and the expanding role of artificial intelligence across multiple industries. Economists point to renewed uncertainty surrounding global trade measures after judicial rulings reshaped portions of the administration's tariff framework. Investors are weighing the potential downstream effects on manufacturing, supply chains, and consumer prices. At the same time, broader market volatility reflects unease about how rapidly advancing AI technologies could disrupt sectors ranging from finance to logistics to media.
We should mention the president will no doubt address his tariff policy, the economy, immigration, ICE, foreign policy in his State of the Union address tomorrow night. I'll be in Washington with our powerhouse political team. ABC News, of course, with live coverage of the president, begins tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here.
Market analysts note that policy clarity often stabilizes investor sentiment, and upcoming national addresses are expected to outline the administration's economic priorities moving forward. Tariff adjustments can influence inflation, corporate earnings, and international trade relationships, while AI innovation continues to reshape workforce projections and capital investment strategies. For businesses and households alike, the intersection of trade policy and technological transformation presents both opportunity and risk. Economists emphasize that short-term market swings do not necessarily predict long-term performance, but sustained volatility can affect retirement accounts, borrowing costs, and business planning. As policymakers prepare to address the nation, markets will be watching closely for signals on regulatory direction and fiscal strategy. While economic uncertainty dominates domestic headlines, developments overseas are drawing renewed attention to a widening international investigation.
Right after the arrest of former Prince Andrew, now the former UK ambassador to the US, Peter Mandelson, has been arrested for possible misconduct in public office. Authorities say emails uncovered in the Jeffrey Epstein file suggest he may have leaked confidential government documents to Epstein. Back in the U.S. tonight, massive flames erupting, causing an historic bridge to come down in Lincoln, Nebraska. A major part of the bridge crashing to the ground there, primarily used for freight trains. No word on the cause tonight. When we come back, your news on Barry Manilow this evening and the men's...
In the United Kingdom, former ambassador to the United States Peter Mandelson has been arrested for alleged misconduct in public office. Authorities say emails uncovered in connection with investigations tied to Jeffrey Epstein suggest possible inappropriate disclosures of confidential government information. The arrest follows earlier legal actions involving other high-profile figures and signals an expanding inquiry into international connections referenced in investigative files. British officials have not publicly detailed the full scope of the allegations, but confirmed that the case involves review of official communications.
Authorities say emails uncovered in the Jeffrey Epstein file suggest he may have leaked confidential government documents.
Legal experts in the UK note that misconduct in public office is a serious allegation that can carry significant penalties if substantiated. The broader investigation continues to reverberate across political institutions on both sides of the Atlantic. Authorities are examining whether any sensitive documents were improperly shared and whether national security protocols were breached. Officials emphasize that the investigation remains ongoing and that no conclusions should be drawn until evidence is fully assessed. The development adds another international dimension to an already complex web of inquiries that have spanned multiple countries and high-ranking individuals. Transparency, due process, and careful review of digital records are now central to the next phase of the case. Back in the United States, dramatic new images are raising urgent questions about infrastructure safety.
Back in the U.S. tonight, massive flames erupting, causing an historic bridge to come down in Lincoln, Nebraska. A major part of the bridge crashing to the ground there, primarily used for freight trains. No word on the cause tonight.
A massive fire in Lincoln triggered the collapse of a historic freight bridge, sending sections crashing to the ground. Flames engulfed structural components before part of the span gave way. The bridge, primarily used for freight rail traffic, was a long-standing fixture in the area's transportation network. Officials have not yet confirmed the cause of the blaze, and investigators are assessing structural integrity and potential service disruptions. No injuries have been reported, but the collapse underscores broader concerns about aging infrastructure and fire resilience.
Tonight, a hero's welcome for the U.S. men's hockey team. Here's Maggie Bruley.
USA! Tonight, after that incredible nail-biting finish at the Olympics, the gold medal winners are back home on American soil. Team USA men's hockey in a thrilling overtime win, defeating rivals Canada 2-1. Jack Hughes scoring the golden goal, a toothless and bloodied smile after a stick to the face in the third period.
I was just disappointed I lost my teeth, but it is what it is now. I'm going to fix these things. I want my good smile back.
In other developments tonight, legendary entertainer Barry Manilow has postponed additional performances as he recovers from lung cancer surgery, citing medical guidance that he is not yet ready to return to full-length shows. Meanwhile, the U.S. men's hockey team returned home to a hero's welcome after capturing Olympic gold for the first time since 1980. Star forward Jack Hughes scored the decisive goal in overtime against Canada, sealing a dramatic 2-1 victory. The emotional win evoked memories of the miracle on ice, marking a milestone moment for a new generation of athletes. For fans across the country, the celebration offered a powerful counterpoint to an otherwise heavy news cycle, a reminder of resilience, perseverance, and national pride. Tonight, a high-profile murder case moves through the courts, financial markets respond to tariff and technology uncertainty, an international arrest deepens a global investigation, a major infrastructure fire prompts urgent review, a music icon focuses on recovery, and Team USA celebrates Olympic gold. From courtrooms to trading floors, from international inquiries to moments of triumph in sport, these stories reflect the breadth of forces shaping our world. Which of these developments do you believe will have the greatest long-term impact? For continued coverage, like this video, share your perspective in the comments, and subscribe for comprehensive updates.